I remember learning what my liver felt like, learning what my colon felt like, and understanding these two different pains, learning what my stomach pain was like, and you begin to get very, very in tune and in touch with aspects of you which you never thought of, which you never even considered. It's like the first time you work out, and you have sore muscles in places you never knew that you had muscles. It's like this, except with disease. You have organs and aspects of you and understandings of you which you never even imagined could exist and could be true. And so it's a holistic approach. So when you're finished with the system, with this one, you have adapted all of these healthy approaches to life and understanding life, right? So you've learned how to detox yourself. You've learned how to resolve issues with your body. You've learned how to keep your body as healthy as possible and how to tool it so that you don't have ailments and you're not constantly having to be dependent on a doctor to tell you what to do. That's what's so beautiful about the Eastern approach, is it teaches you how to care for your body so you're not dependent. You are independent. You are self-aware. You self-become because you are learning about this organism, and because you learn about things that you love, you fall in love with yourself more and more and more, not an egoistic sense, but in just amazement of this incredible facility and faculty that you have available to you. And learning it and knowing it becomes a deeply emotional and relational deal. It becomes a very feeling situation for real. Because you really learn about yourself and know who you are. Just like a marriage, after you, or a partnership, and you're with this person for decade after decade after decade, there is a bond there that exists that simply can't exist in their early relationship. A bond forms in this holism approach with your body where it's not like, hey, my body's giving me a problem, I'm going to poison it and fix it. It's like, I love my body so much and I'm going to give it everything it needs so that it can be awesome and that it can do everything that it was designed to do and built to do, right? It's this invigoration. It's this giving joy and love and passion to it, right? Whereas so often with chemotherapy, it's just like, oh God, just get me home and get me on my bed so I don't, throw up in the car, and you wake up in the morning, I have no energy. I don't want to eat. I don't want to sleep. I don't want to do anything. It's because you're completely depleted. It's because their fundamental approach is antithetical to one another. Their fundamentals are antithetical. They do not play well together in the park. You're killing one with the other, right? Because this one's trying to detox the body constantly, and this one's trying to constantly poison the body with chemo. And so by knowing this stuff and becoming familiar with it, you'll be able to make more discerning, wise decisions as far as how to treat your body and what kind of results you're going to get. What kind of results you're going to get when you go down the Western road, and what kind of results you're going to get when you go down the Eastern road. And then even better, is there a way so that you can creatively combine it like I did so that you can kind of have the best of both worlds, where for me, I took the really good side of this one, which is just take the tumor out. Okay, just take the tumor out and I'm going to deal with all the other stuff. But I rejected all the chemo. I rejected all the pain meds. I rejected all that. Literally, and I was in pain. I treated my pain with cannabis. The little bit that I had available to me, I was able to treat with cannabis, but a lot of it was just putting my nose to the ground and doing it and facing it. From death comes life. That's really what this is about. And cancer is the greatest teacher of that, because cancer is death. Because once you have it, you will never be the same again. You will never be able to see life the same, because once something comes along and says, I'm going to take life from you, without any apology, without any, just completely ruthlessly, comes along and just says, I'm going to take your life from you, that changes you. Know yourself and you will set yourself free. This approach here is going to teach you yourself. It's going to teach you how to eat appropriately. It's going to teach you how to detox your body of issues and problems and poisons. It's going to teach you how you and nature and the environment are one. It's going to teach you these fundamental aspects, which is going to change you forever, right? The Western system is not going to teach you that. You are going to be subservient to a doctor in a white lab coat. You're going to do as he or she says, and you are going to follow that protocol, period. And there is nothing, you're not going to be learning anything other than what they're doing to you, the poisons they're putting into you, and the type of cancer you are. But as far as learning how your liver detoxes, learning how important your colon is, how it's 80% of your immune system, as far as learning how to really care for your body, you're not going to learn any of that there. None of that will be offered to you by your doctor, because they don't even know how to do that. Because they're not trained in nutrition. They're not trained in detox. They're not. They have no idea about those aspects of the human body, and they have no idea about the endocannabinoid system, because it's been dismissed as useless, you see? So you are compromised in what you can do on this Western side. You are highly compromised because you are completely dependent on a doctor in a white lab coat who is under the impression of this is the only way to do it, who has been trained that this is crap. She has been trained that these Eastern approaches are total quackery garbage. That's what they've been taught. So they will offer you nothing as far as that's concerned. So just know that going in. Know going in, this person is completely clueless when it comes to detoxing me. They're clueless when it comes to nutrition. They're clueless when it comes to acupuncture and chiropractors. They're clueless when it comes to essential oils and cannabis. They're clueless to these very, very viable and workable and doable methodologies for treating the body. Understand you are trusting your life to a system which is under a bully methodology, which believes in allopathic reductionism, which rejects all of these ways of treating the body, right? You are giving all of that up. You are walking away from all of the principles of the body to heal. You're walking away from that, and you're walking into that doctor and just saying, here's my brain here, and you just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And if you're looking for that kind of ride, go right ahead. Ride the ride, and they will give you that ride. They will be happy to take you on that ride, and they will love you straight into the surgery room, and they will love you straight into the chemotherapy.
In my book, I have 10 questions that every cancer patient needs to ask their oncologist in the presence of a recording device and a witness. 10 simple questions to be politely asked. Doctor, I've just been diagnosed with such and such a type of cancer. Does the therapy that you're recommending I get on board with cure my cancer? Does it cure my cancer? What causes my cancer? If the treatment you're recommending does not cure my cancer, what can I expect? What side effects from the cancer treatment can I expect? Can the cancer treatment give me cancer? How are you going to manage the side effects of the treatment if they happen? What's going to happen to the quality of my life while I'm undergoing this treatment? And how much are you going to profit from this treatment? How much is the hospital going to profit from this treatment? And I'd like to talk to 5 of your patients in my same demographic who have had the same type of cancer, who've had the same treatment that you're recommending, to see how they're doing. I think there might be a couple of more questions, but you get my drift. These are just simple, common sense questions that you would think the doctor would be forthcoming with if the doctor became involved with medicine to actually help people. But they don't. Now, the oncologist knows that their therapy has limited chances of success. The oncologist knows what side effect it's going to create. The oncologist knows everything. But the oncologist also is of the belief, the fundamental philosophical belief, that you are screwed. So even though this therapy is only 0.5% successful, you better just shut up and take your medicine, because there's nothing else for you to do. What are you going to do, a coffee enema? There's nothing else for you to do. So I know it's not a perfect world. I know it's not a perfect therapy, but it's all we've got. And you just need to do it because I'm the doctor and I said so.
You can't be constantly living in a toxic state and not detox and avoid cancer. That's why cancer is becoming an epidemic. That's why. The West has taken the wrong dog to the hunt. Everybody is doing nothing but consuming and being exposed to toxins. They're going to a doctor which gives them more toxins, does not address the real true source of their problems in their body and only addresses the inflammations, which is only just the flowering of the problem that's in the body, nothing is being addressed. And so what is happening? More and more and more and more people are getting cancer. I'm now getting phone calls from people that are 25 years old that have cancer. The kids are now getting diabetes at age 7. This used to be a disease. Diabetes used to be a disease that you only got in your as you got older, because it was an acclimation. It was an accumulating of the insulin that had been injected into the bloodstream over and over and over again, and over time it eventually broke down the pancreatic function, and eventually you begin to get diabetes and pancreatic cancer and so forth, because this insulin is breaking down the body from this constant exposure of too much sugar. And so eventually the person will develop diabetes. Well, now we're so unhealthy. Now the environment is so horrible and the food is so terrible that little kids are now getting diabetes. Heck, they're almost being born with it. And that is because we are taking the wrong dog to the hunt, and we are not detoxing as a culture, and we have to detox. You have to detox if you're going to be healthy, because you can't expose the body to the level of toxins that we have now and not be affected by it. And just like that plant that grows up out in the forest is going to be highly affected by the environment compared to the plant that's in a sterile environment, you, my friend, are in a wild and a wiggly environment that has been tainted by man's mind and the self-consumption of science and the insistence that science is right, and these people who think that they're smarter than they are. And they don't listen. Doctors don't listen anymore. When I approach doctors about coffee enemas, I approach doctors about cannabis, they have no time for it. They don't listen. It's because they have been programmed by the pharmaceutical system here in the West, which turns them into a pharma bot. And that scene from The Office when Michael Scott is driving the car and the computer is saying to turn right and it's into the lake, and he's screaming to Dwight, no, the computer's right, Dwight, listen to the computer, and they drive right into the lake. That is the exact metaphor word picture of the doctor that's coming in and saying, no, the books are right, my pharmaceutical training is right, and the best solution for this person is to burn a hole into their abdomen before we engage any kind of natural medicine, before we engage coffee enemas. And so in any doctor that's going to come along and say that that's a more viable and logical and commonsensical solution than natural homeopathic medicine, yeah, we have a totally different idea, you and I, of what it means to be a human being and to love other humans and to do no harm. A totally different perspective. This will give you an idea then of what happens when a mind is consumed, when it becomes self-consumed. That's what happens. You become like Michael Scott, and you just obey that computer and drive right into the lake. When you're seeing the lake coming, and you just drive right into the lake. That is a mind that's self-consumed, that's saying, I'm right, right as you're just going over the cliff, or right as you're driving in a lake, you're screaming, I'm right. That's exactly the metaphor for what's happening with the Western methodology for healing people. That's exactly what it is. Total rejection of the stuff that works, total rejection of the stuff that's non-harmful, and total embracing of the harmful stuff, of the stuff that totally toxifies and poisons the body. Total myopic embracement and consumption and focus of the allopathic, reductionistic methodology.
shortcut, Dwight. It said go to the right.
It can't mean that. There's a light there.
I think it knows where it is going.
The machine knows. This is the light.